lied and used fake documents to obtain the interview with my mother, made lurid and false claims about the royal family.
Before you click away, you need to hear what Princess Diana wrote in a letter that stayed hidden for decades. What she told Prince William in those handwritten words will completely change how you see the royal family. Stay until the end, because the final revelation will shock you. Picture this. July 2004, a quiet London auction house. No cameras, no headlines, just a dusty catalogue with something extraordinary buried inside. Handwritten letters from Princess Diana herself. But here's where it gets interesting. These weren't formal palace announcements. These were raw, unfiltered thoughts from a mother to the people she trusted most. And one letter in particular revealed something about Prince William that the world had never seen. But before we dive into what Diana wrote, smash that like button if you want to see more untold royal stories. And stick around, because at the 8-minute mark, I'm revealing the exact words William said to his mother that made her cry. So who had these letters? Not palace officials, not royal archivists. A woman named Violet Collison. She wasn't a duchess or a countess. She was a housekeeper for the Spencer family. But she was so much more than that. She was Diana's confidant, someone who watched a shy teenager transform into the world's most photographed woman. And Diana trusted her with her deepest thoughts. The letters showed everything: the chaos before her wedding to Charles, her struggles with royal expectations, her fears about raising children in a fishbowl, and most importantly, her determination to give William and Harry something the palace never could. One letter from weeks before her wedding captured Diana perfectly. While everyone panicked around her, she wrote with playful confidence about keeping her cool. This was the Diana the public fell in love with. But the later letters, they got serious. Really serious. Drop a comment right now telling me, did you know Diana personally wrote thank you notes to police officers who entertained William on his birthday? Because what she did next will blow your mind. Here's something most people don't know. Diana was only 20 when William was born, 20 years old, and suddenly she was expected to hand him over to royal nannies and follow centuries of tradition. But Diana said no. She made choices that shocked the palace. Choice number 1, she breastfed William herself. Sounds normal, right? Not in the royal family. It was practically scandalous. Choice number 2, she picked his name, not the Queen, not Charles, Diana. Choice number 3, when Charles had to travel to Australia just weeks after William was born, Diana refused to leave her newborn behind. She broke protocol and brought him along. The message was clear. No royal duty mattered more than being William's mother, but here's where it gets even more interesting. Instead of private tutors in the palace, Diana enrolled William in a regular nursery school. Parents would literally see a princess dropping off her son like any other mom. If you're loving these behind-the-scenes details, hit that subscribe button because we're just getting started. Now, pay close attention to this part because it shows Diana's genius. She didn't just want William to know about regular life. She wanted him to experience it. So what did she do? Took William and Harry to McDonald's, not for publicity, but to eat like normal kids, rode the London Underground with them, visited theme parks during quiet hours, let them interact with people who didn't bow or use formal titles. Her former bodyguard revealed that Diana meticulously planned these trips. She'd wear subtle disguises, choose the quietest times, and minimize security presence. But the most powerful moment came when Diana brought William to Centrepoint, a homeless charity. There, he met teenagers his own age who had no families, no education, nowhere to sleep. That wasn't just a field trip. That was a lesson in empathy that would shape William's entire life. Comment below. What would you have done differently if you were raising a future king? By the early 1990s, Diana's marriage was collapsing in the most public way possible. Imagine your worst breakup. Now imagine it with hundreds of millions of people watching, analyzing, and judging every move. But Diana's response? She doubled down on being a mother. She chose schools that prioritized emotional well-being over prestige. She attended every school event. She wrote personal thank you notes to staff. And when Charles and Diana separated in 1992, she remained the steady presence in William and Harry's lives. Then came 1995, the Panorama interview that changed everything. Over 22 million people watched Diana speak her truth, but what stood out most wasn't the drama about Charles, it was what she said about her sons. She wanted them to have emotional intelligence, to understand real people's struggles, to lead with compassion instead of just authority. The royal family's response? Queen Elizabeth herself urged Diana to finalize the divorce. Fast, and here's the moment I promised you at the beginning. After the divorce was finalized in 1996, Diana lost her Royal Highness title. This wasn't just about status. It meant that one day, Diana would have to curtsy to her own sons. Imagine that. A mother bowing to her children because of royal protocol. Diana was devastated. She confided in 14-year-old William about how hurt she felt. And William's response? "Don't worry, mommy. I'll give it back to you one day when I'm king." Now, here's what makes this moment even more profound. William wasn't just comforting his mother with empty words. At 14, he was already showing the emotional intelligence Diana had worked so hard to instill in him. He understood that his mother wasn't upset about losing a title for vanity's sake. She felt erased, pushed out of the family she'd given everything to. According to Diana's former butler, Paul Burrell, this conversation happened during one of Diana's lowest moments. She'd just been told she'd have to step back from over 100 charitable patronages. The institutions she'd poured her heart into were being stripped away, one by one. But William's promise represented something bigger than just returning a royal styling. It was a vow that he would never forget what she'd taught him, that he would use his future power not to uphold rigid traditions, but to honor compassion and humanity. Think about what this meant for a teenage boy. William was watching his parents' very public divorce while trying to maintain some sense of normalcy at school. He was dealing with his own pain, his own confusion about his place in the world. Yet in that moment, he put his mother's feelings first. This is exactly what Diana had been teaching him all along through those trips to homeless shelters, those rides on public buses, those visits to AIDS patients when the world still feared them. She was showing him that true leadership means seeing people's pain and responding with kindness. Whether this story is fully accurate or confirmed by the palace, it reveals the depth of their bond. This wasn't a prince and his subject. This was a son who saw his mother's pain and wanted to fix it. And more importantly, it was the moment when Diana knew her greatest work wasn't her charity missions or her public appearances. It was raising a future king who understood that crowns mean nothing without compassion. Drop a heart in the comments if this moment hit you emotionally. After leaving royal duties, Diana focused on what mattered most, her humanitarian work and her boys. She traveled to Angola to campaign against landmines, walking through recently cleared minefields in protective gear. Those images became iconic, but behind the brave facade, Diana was afraid. In letters later revealed by her butler, she wrote about feeling vulnerable without royal protection. In one chilling note from October 1995, she expressed fears that something might happen to her, specifically mentioning a car accident. Whether these fears were justified or paranoia, they showed a woman under immense pressure. Yet through it all, she kept preparing William for leadership. She'd tell him, "Use your position to help those who have no voice." That wasn't just advice. It was her life's mission being passed to the next generation. And then, August 31st, 1997, changed everything forever. Diana never saw William graduate, get married, or become a father. She never met Catherine or her grandchildren. But her influence? It's everywhere. William and Harry's approach to mental health advocacy, their hands-on parenting style, their connection with ordinary people, that's all Diana. Those letters from 2004 weren't just historical artifacts. They were proof that a mother's love transcends protocol, titles, and even death itself. Diana didn't just raise princes. She raised men who understood that true royalty means service, empathy, and never forgetting where you came from. So here's my question for you. What lesson from Diana's parenting would you apply to your own life? If this video gave you a new perspective on Princess Diana, hit that like button, subscribe for more untold royal stories, and watch this next video where we reveal what the Queen really thought about Diana's parenting methods. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.